I fear I have prattled on long enough. It is impolite to talk at such length about topics the other person does not find interesting. Enough about me. Why don't you tell me a bit about yourself? Did you ever tell me where you came from? I come from Praline. Praline? How lovely! Madeleine smiled, clapping her hands together. The sound rang through the church, echoing about the stone floor and walls. She looked happy enough, but for some reason, both the sound of her clapping and her expression seemed hollow. You will have to tell me more. I know very little of other countries, and it is rare to have visitors from so far afield. Oops, Praline is not that. It said something about Praline is not that far. A boat? I have never been in a boat. Though I have spoken to sailors, they say the rough waves can be horrendous. Yes, well, I'm not so fond of the high seas myself. I get seasick. Oh, you poor dear. As the two continued to talk into the night, while the rain fell thick and hard outside, after an hour or so of light discussion, most about pralish cooking, the traveler found themselves lulled off into a long, dreamless sleep. A sleep filled with cold, hard stars and endless rain. The end. She's back. Lycoris looks at the book resting in her lap. The book is split open, the pages pale white with the wings of a large butterfly. It appears the traveler managed to offend Madeleine. What do you think, Grandma Mia? You start. You were so engrossed in the story you almost forgot where you were. Who you were. Oh my. I fear I almost lost you for a moment, Grandma Mia. I know these stories can be interesting, but if you become too engrossed in them, you may forget your own identity. Is that really possible? Many wanderers with a tenacious grasp on their own selfhood have been swallowed by the stories in this library. They become too invested in their lives of characters and their own sense of egos begin to slip away. If you cannot remember your own memories, your parents, your friends, or even your name, it stands to reason you would try to fill the gaps with knowledge gleaned from elsewhere. People take components of these stories and use them to augment their own fragile existences. But this is exceedingly dangerous. If you mix your soul with that of another, you risk losing what it is that makes you you. You will become lost in the swamp of confusion, and then existence... Wait, whoa, I didn't do anything. A sad ending, don't you think? You stare at Lycoris, your lips are perused, your eyes wide. If you listen to the story too much, you will disappear? For a few minutes, you really did forget your true self. You twitch your fingertips just to reassure yourself that you still have them. You are more surprised than you should be to discover that they do twitch upon your command. Your eyes still blink, your heart still beats, your veins would still bleed too, if you wish to test that hypothesis, but you don't. You're not a masochist, or are you? Who are you? You don't know. Are you even called Grandma Mia? You will discover in due course. We need to read on. Perhaps you would disappear if you were alone, but you are forgetting something crucial. You are with me. I will not let you be consumed by this story. If you feel your existence growing thin, I will pinch you and remind you who you are. Does she really need to go that far? Lycoris giggles. Are you afraid of a little pain? That is so like you. You glance down at your knees. Yes, you still have them. You are still alive, for now. What will you do if you fade away? Will Lycoris really be able to save you? The thought is more than a little disconcerting. Well, what shall we do, Grandma Mia? Turn back the pages of the story because we already... If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Questions, This outcome again. Lycoris coils a strand of her hair about one finger idly. Her hair, you note, is rather long, pale too. You knew a girl with hair like that once, but you can't recall any other discerning features about her. You can't even remember her name. Okay, I have examined the altar, I've examined the tree, I did the leave. So now I'm going to examine the windows, because that's the only one I haven't done yet. The traveler tipped her head back, face still shrouded in the shadow, and looked a little more closely at the stained glass windows. Windows appeared to depict important religious figures and parables, but the traveler could not discern what any of them actually were. The traveler was unfamiliar with the main religion of Dequa, Carmelism, wasn't it? And was rather ignorant about the finer points of their faith. One of the windows was particularly interesting. It depicted what appeared to be two mice, one white and one brown, drowning in a tureen of liquefied butter. Alrighty, that's pretty gross. The butter was golden and dripped over the edges of the tureen like melting candle wax. It was a rather idyllic scene, all things considered, which was rather strange considering the mice were hair's breadth away from slow, buttery death. Oh, that's just disgusting. The traveler shook their head bemused. There must have been some sort of moral message, a warning against greed, perhaps? But all it was doing was making the traveler feel hungry. Their stomach rumbled. It was startlingly loud in the silence of the church, and the traveler flustered. When was Madeleine going to come back? You two are awfully close. Indeed, we are close. We have been together some 3 years, and she means the world to me. That is not entirely what I was getting at, but the traveler sighed. Maybe it would be rude to ask, but they had no real right to know the intimate details of Madeleine's private life. Though Madeleine had been welcoming and giving the traveler a place to rest their weary head, they were still strangers. The traveler's curiosity had taken hold of them again and prompted them to ask something rather too intimate. But they were still curious. Press the issue. I want to know whether you and Daffodil are in love. Oh, is that all you meant? Why, of course we are in love. Madeleine responded without a second's hesitation. She sounded so confident in her answer the traveler was rather taken back. You do love her? Yes. She means the world to me. She is my most precious companion, and I wish to stay by her side forever. Does that answer your question? Do you love her as a friend or as another woman? Ah, I see. A wicked little smile captured the corner of Madeleine's lips. Coming from a nun, it was strikingly devilish. You wish to know whether I've held her and stroked her and kissed her. The traveler had expected Madeleine to blush at this line of inquiry. They had been wrong. They were the ones who was now blushing. The traveler, who had thought they were immune to embarrassment given their line of work, having something so scandalous stated in such simple, pretty terms by a nun of all people, was way too much. I suppose I was asking that, yes, but not in so many words. You ask me this question, yet you are too flustered to even look at my face? How silly you are. I suppose I am rather silly, yes. As talking about my relationship with Daffodil is rather too much for you to handle, I will neither confirm nor deny your suspicion. That's playing dirty. I have no obligation to answer, and I am doing it for your sake. I fear if you knew the truth, you would pass out. That is very benevolent of you. I am a nun. Are nuns allowed to have relationships? I never said I was in a relationship. You implied it. Oh, Did I? I'm afraid I don't remember. Aha! And I thought Daffodil was the one to watch out for. You can be quite sadistic yourself. There is a lot you don't know about me. Evidently. Is there anything else you wish to ask, or are you too flustered to formulate words? Well,